9:12 p.m. and we are in Texas, Houston, Texas.
Houston,
This
Texas.
is the Hello World podcast with Sebastian Lee Stockton and Kyle Matthew.
Yep, Kyle Matthew.
Yeah, so, okay.
Awkward introduction out of the way. Let's get a topic to discuss about today.
Hi, you still here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
Everything's coming in now.
I wanted to talk about Bitcoin today. It's really interesting, and it's just, there's a lot to talk about, honestly. So basically, there's this thought in science, basically, that there's 3 levels of civilization. And I'll get into how this pertains to Bitcoin. And so basically, like, we're at number 0 right now, actually, still. We're 90% of the way there to being like level 1 civilization. And the idea is that once we get rid of this cash objective, like money, and it's only backed by our imaginations, you know? Like, it's not even like actually worth anything anymore. So like, once we get rid of that, and it's all like a digital currency, we'll be on like the level 1 civilization. Basically, and we're taking the next step into like the becoming like basically fucking like what you see in like Cyberpunk and stuff, you know? Like
Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, shout out to that game.
Yeah, that game is super fun. This insane graphics makes me feel like I'm part of the game.
Yeah, it's so sad, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta finish with Bitcoin before we talk about that.
Let's get back on track.
But basically, I was thinking like we gotta like get on that, like invest. If like this dude I saw on Impulsive Jake, Logan Paul's podcast,
shout out to Impulsive, by the way.
Yeah, he was talking to a Bitcoin expert, and this dude was saying how like it's so interesting, and nobody even knows who created Bitcoin actually. Like it released under a surname, a fake name, and let me look it up. His name is Satoshi Nakamoto, quote unquote. But it's like, yeah, it's not really him who created it. Like, and it's absolutely crazy how much effort has gone into this. They've like covered the idea of like inflation over time with like basically. To get Bitcoin, your computer has to solve problems, these coding problems like math, to access Bitcoin. And it's kept in like a little block, basically like a cell where it's secure. And then if I sent you Bitcoin, it would go through like a chain, you know, like to you, basically. Like, from me to you. And it's called a blockchain, basically. And basically, every time somebody mines these bitcoins, they find a block, they mine it, they get the bitcoins. It's like split into a bunch of pieces, the coin, because one coin's worth a lot more. Like, people don't just spend a coin. Like, one coin's worth like thousands of dollars. Like, you spend like 0.001 of a coin unit. You feel me? Like, so basically, every time they solve a problem, it gets harder. And we're at the point 10 years later that like the problems are so hard, it's gonna take like supercomputers to like solve these problems by like, and I looked it up, it said it'll take about till 2140 until we can mine all the Bitcoin that exists, and that number is around like 24 million. It's like the max Bitcoin.
Damn.
So he's literally put a time limit on us being able to mine it, so everybody can't become rich instantly with like the prohibition of like our level of technology right now, which is like so smart, isn't it? Like,
yeah, that's actually fucking insane.
That's like fucking insane, bro. I know.
It
like,
is, yeah. I mean, damn, bro.
Like, what kind of fucking genius came up with that idea, bro? Like,
man, someone obviously like way beyond our thinking.
Yeah, and the great thing about it is that it's a decentralized currency, which basically means it's not owned by anybody or any organization, and nobody can control it because it can't be replicated. And basically, our government has looked at Bitcoin and really love it because Bitcoin's so public that you can see where transactions are going. So like if I sent you like 50 Bitcoin, like that people would be able to see it.
Yeah.
And so the government likes that because they can see where Bitcoin's going. But also they hate it and they don't want to just quit currency use right now because then we can see where their money is going, you know? It's like, then we're calling out all the politicians and stuff. Like, why are they taking money from, like... Yeah, it's like, why are they sending a hooker, like, fucking 0.05 Bitcoins and shit, like... So...
Damn.
It's crazy, man.
I didn't...
And there's a couple different... Yeah, it goes deep, bro.
For sure. I can see it.
Yeah. But basically, the thing is, this guy was saying how like it's more dangerous right now to not put money into Bitcoin than it, like to not spend money on Bitcoin than it is to not have it, because like it's gonna be the currency of the future. So like, we should really hop on that.
We definitely need to check that out, man, because this sounds like a super crazy, you know, like, damn, I don't even know the word for it, but it just sounds
it's like
what's up?
Continue, bro. Sorry.
Oh, no worries, brother. I don't know, it just sounds like a super crazy, like, way to just, you know, like, use, like, currency and stuff. See, like, I'm not super, like, knowledgeable about this certain topic like you are, but listening to what you've spoken about, you know, it's definitely sounds like a super like I don't know, just like crazy thing to like think about, like how Bitcoin rose to like popularity and like how like they're viewed in the eyes of like society and like everybody.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's literally like the cash. Like it's the company like for the people and only for the people. Like, you know, like governments can't use it to abuse power over us because if they can't just make the internet disappear. It can never disappear. It's not owned by anybody. Like unless a solar wave comes and wipes out all electricity, like it's gonna be there forever. And they can't throw anybody in jail over it because nobody owns it. So it's
definitely. So how does one use Bitcoin? Let's elaborate on that.
Okay. So basically, it's really complicated, but simply, and I don't even understand all of it.
Yep.
But I was looking at it. So basically, you have like a wallet, and it's like one of those blocks I told you about. And usually you access this through like a third-party website, kind of like you'll pay someone basically to like be able to store your cash, or you can keep it in the blockchain. So look, there's like basically online internet banks, and if you give them, you basically can buy your Bitcoin from somewhere like a website. Like, let me look up a big one. Coin. The name's on the tip of my tongue. Okay, Bitstop, Rocket Coin. There's tons of them. You can buy Bitcoin on these websites. Basically, be careful. Some of them aren't legit. I'm for sure they aren't legit. Some of them.
Yeah.
But so you don't want to get scammed. But once you get this, basically you have like your wallet. It's in the block. Nobody can access it except for you, and you have this code, this string of numbers, and you want to memorize it because, dude, it's crazy. If you put like millions of dollars of like Bitcoin, like we're talking, I mean, 5 Bitcoin or 6 Bitcoins, like a couple $1,000s, I think right now. Like, so it's worth a lot of money. Like, so, and it's expensive to buy too, bro. It's like a big investment. But basically you have that number, bro, and if you lose that number, like, you're fucked. Like, you can't ever access it again. That's how secure it is. Like, like your money, like it's not yours no more. Like it's gone forever. Like
It's just gone, lost in all the zeros and ones of the internet.
yeah, bro. So like it's like a high risk, but like at the same time, I mean, if you got a lot of money to spend, it's like safe for you. So I mean, you want to keep that number locked in a vault, like, or memorize it. But the thing is, Logan Paul was mentioning the fear that someone would, like, in the future, like, kidnap you or torture you for, like, this information, you know? It's like, because right now, you know, they can just steal our credit cards, but in the future, like, it's all going to be in our head, you know? We'll have technology a part of us. It's like, how, like, where do we draw the line, kind of, like, what's safe and what's not safe, like.
Yeah, it's a very, you know, like, interesting thing to think about.
Yeah.
Almost controversial.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about becoming a part of technology, really.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling that, because I'm more of like, you know, like, you need to be like natural, you know, you're born the way you have to be.
Yeah. Elon Musk's idea is that basically we'll have an option, you know, we can go with it or we can't, but he wants to, when he creates AI, and I honestly, I think he'll be the first person to do it.
Definitely. I can see him being the first person to do that with his level of intelligence.
Yeah, he said he wants to give everybody the access to it, to like be a part of it, like one with it. So that would, I mean, like, we're talking like if we're one with AI, bro, like we don't need schools anymore, like we don't need college anymore, like bro, like we'd have everything inside our heads. Like we'd be able, like everybody could just do like, you know, rocket science. Like we'd be in such a, like our society would start moving at such a fast pace.
Such
like
a rapid speed, man. And
yeah.
honestly,
Like it would probably it would leave the people in the dust that don't decide to do it, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
and I apologize for cutting you off, but man, like it sure does sound amazing, but man, like I could never see myself being a part of something like that. I don't know, like it's just kind of, you know, like a fearful factor when it comes to these things, because you don't know what could ever go wrong, and also like that's just, there's nothing fun about that, really, in my opinion. You know, it's just like, you know everything, and you know how to do something. There's no more looking up how to look at it and trying to figure it out yourself. You know, you're supposed to know everything because you're one with AI, and I just don't think that's right, man. You know, like sure, like the people that want to do it, go for it, man. Like do what you want. This is just my like personal opinion. I just don't like necessarily agree with it, but I do understand how helpful it can be for a lot of people.
I actually agree with you in a way that like it's both so amazing and like it's almost like a superpower, but like also it's like this dystopian world where like we lose so much of what being human is
We
by
just
like
lose ourselves,
doing
really, you know, our spirit.
Yeah. It's and it's actually proven already that just with phones, and if we became one with AI, it seems like, oh, you're smarter, but actually like your brain shrinks and like you stop forming these neurological pathways that you normally use, because you know you have to think hard whenever you're solving problems, and it makes your brain work, and it grows, and it's healthy. But actually whenever you use your phone a lot, they've done studies, and your brain starts acting slower because you don't have to think as hard. So imagine what this AI would do. Like we'd become like, our brain would be useless in a way. We'd have everything
be mechanical, robotic.
Yeah, all it would be there to do is, you know, basically, honestly, nothing. Because if we have AI, then that means we have other ways to keep us walking and seeing and talking than like our brain. So at that point, like we're not human anymore, kind of.
Yeah, we're
like,
just, you know, like humanoid androids, pretty much. At that point.
Yeah.
Like, I respect Elon Musk and like what he does and like creates, and especially like SpaceX, you know, being the first commercial space, you know, like engineer project or anything like that, you know. But this is just the one thing I don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah, it's totally like a moral dilemma, like you mentioned earlier.
Definitely.
And lots of people will say yes, lots of people will be like, nah, I think. But at some point, I know at least, that for sure, like, they will, like, there will be a point where it, like, goes bad, you know? Like, I feel like, okay, like, 300 years in the future, like, say it's created, like, well, we're still alive. Like, you know, like, when we're talking 300 years in the future, if we haven't all killed ourselves, like, with technology and stuff, like, everybody will have forgotten what it was like now to live even without this AI. Like, there won't be any second thought of, like, oh, like, my morals. It'll just be like religion won't exist. Like, none of that stuff will exist. Like, and that's what we're talking about, like, in the end of the world is it's going to be such a finite of people that still remember that stuff in the future that, like, you know, they're going to get criticized and mocked and, like, you know, killed for that kind of stuff because everybody's going to have moved on to this, like, quote unquote, like, higher path they think is automatically right. You know?
Definitely.
And I don't think we're quite there yet. But, like, someday. But I don't even know.
Yeah, maybe some future.
I don't even want to get into religion.
Yeah, that's such a controversial topic. And, you know, we'll maybe end up talking about it on this podcast someday. But, you know, everybody's entitled to their own religion and opinion. So, yeah.
We don't care what anybody believes, really. It's just, you know, it's our opinions. That's why we have a podcast. So it just happens.
Well, what he means is, like, you know, like, we're not here to disrespect your opinion or belief of life or anything. We're just here to let you guys hear us out, and we also appreciate feedback as well. You know, we love hearing your thoughts.
Yeah, of course.
But what he means, you know, is that we're not here to offend you or just disregard your thoughts or opinions or any kind of harmful way.
On another note, let's talk about cancel culture.
Cancel culture.
For a second. This is the one thing I'm going to be biased on.
Definitely.
For real. Like, and if they come at me, like, I'm gonna take it like a champ, okay? Like, because I hate it, bro. It's the worst thing ever. It's the worst little group of people ever, bro. Like,
I think they are very toxic. Just cancel people for, you know, some people do deserve to not.
I just hate the word cancel, even. Yeah. It's just
such, like, a, you know, like, harmful topic and stuff. But, you know, it's just,
really,
it's like, sorry to cut you off, my boy, but, you know, it's just like, some people do deserve to, you know, like, not have the platform they have to speak on certain things, but man, when it comes to, you know, like, cancel culture, lots of these people spend time on the internet digging years full of information on people just to cancel them because they don't like them at all, you know?
Yeah, or do they just want the publicity, you know?
Or they just want the publicity. They want the fame from, you know, dragging somebody's name in the dirt, all because they want recognition. They want to take this person's recognition and turn it into their own success. And that's just not cool. I think it's cruel, you know? Like,
it is, man. Yeah.
People make mistakes.
And
I apologize. Go ahead, man.
No, I completely, bro, I understand that. It's like, 10 years ago, like, okay, you know, there was that whole ordeal where, like, Kevin Hart had said something on Twitter. I don't know if you knew about that, but
I heard about it.
Yeah, so I don't have to explain to you what I heard. But he said a certain word. It upset people. It pertains to the gay community.
It does.
And basically, he said this on Twitter. He was in an argument with someone. I think he might have called someone it. And it's like, okay, like, he messed up, like, okay, like, someone finds it, you know, of course, call him out. They're, like, trying to ruin his whole comedic career. I think it was a pretty big deal for him then. I think he's gotten over it now. But man, whenever it happened like 2-3 years ago, like it was a big deal. Like people were mad at him, calling him out, like sending his family hate letters and stuff. And he apologized, but like the hate didn't end. I'm saying like we can't live in a society where like you make a mistake and then like you can't ever say sorry and it be just done with. Like certain things, you know, will be there forever, but like we just gotta forgive and forget for some shit.
Especially
like,
when it comes
really.
down to like these kind of things, like
especially whenever it's like old time kind of stuff.
course.
Like okay, like it's just the truth that like 10 years ago we're a never-ending change in our society. Like, and what's right and wrong is always changing. So it's like we can't cancel people that we live what like 70-60 years on average. Like of course we're gonna make mistakes throughout our life, like and say things that aren't right. Like you know, like we just gotta accept that okay, I messed up, and then people need to like understand like that we're not just bad. Kevin Hart's not. I don't think he's a bad guy.
Bad
like,
thing doesn't define a person. You know?
Yeah, couldn't have said it better.
Definitely. You know, it's just of course, like what he said, what he did, you know, was pretty like cruel and like isn't, you know, like something to be like, oh, like this is an accomplishment. Like, you know, it's definitely like a low point for him. But the way he handled it was pretty mature. Like, he apologized. You know, many people do this, but I think he was sincere about it, you know. And yes, he made a little mistake. You know, the word not a lot of people agree with. I don't agree with it either. I think it's, you know, a harmful word.
Yeah, me neither.
It's a very hateful word.
I mean, yeah.
But, you know, people say things out of so much emotion all the time and don't even realize what they say. I don't agree that he should be canceled over this one thing, you know. His personality.
I mean, back then, whenever he said it, he probably wasn't even thinking.
Probably not. I mean, I've said tons of things, you know, out of emotion before.
Yeah, we all make mistakes.
Of course, you know. And then I realized, you know, I'm like, oh shit, like I didn't mean to say that to you, man. Like I'm so sorry. Like, you know, you gotta realize what you say sometimes, and you know,
it's all about just owning your actions.
It's all about taking accountability. You know, basically what you said. You know, owning up to your actions and, you know, apologizing for it. You need to be sincere. However.
Yeah. So, on another note, we have another big deal to talk about that's currently going on.
Yeah, and I think this will be the last topic we talk about for today, at least, and we will elaborate on much more in the future, but let's hear what the topic Sebastian has brainstormed.
So we have Jake Paul calling out Conor McGregor. This happened a few weeks ago.
Yep.
He was on Impulsive. He talked to his brother. Jake was talking to Logan Paul.
Yep.
Logan Paul, you know, on his podcast with him. And man, I'm not gonna say that. I think Jake Paul at this point is just calling people out for like the fame of it. I don't really think like he's this like bad dude that he's built himself up to be. But people look at him and they hate him. But you know, by hating him and then putting their words in his mouth, he just becomes more famous. That's why he's trending all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, because people are like, oh, it's cringy, this, that, but like, it's like, oh, but you're talking.
It's all about publicity. You know, you're putting his name out there for people to see.
Yeah,
sparks up not just thousands, millions of conversations a day about this man. Yeah.
So it's like him fighting Conor McGregor. Yeah, that's okay. So his brother Logan Paul is supposedly trying to fight Floyd Mayweather.
Yes.
And honestly, that is a more possible fight than Jake versus McGregor.
I don't agree with that. I think both of them are just, you know, insane. Like, they just really rushed it too much. Floyd Mayweather is an icon, you know, super talented, and his skill, and you know, he's
I'm not taking away that.
You
He's very skilled.
he's a legend when it
He's the
comes to
best.
that.
One of the best.
Yeah, I think he's actually won every fight he's done so far, man. And to do that, that's a beyond insane accomplishment, man. And Logan, he's a great fighter as well, but I do not think him and Floyd Mayweather should be crossing paths at this moment of skill that Logan has qualified for. Logan, a very skilled fighter, but when it comes to Floyd Mayweather is definitely one of the best, and I cannot see Logan handling round one. In my opinion.
I'm saying there's like I'm saying maybe there's like okay, Logan Paul, he did some stuff. He went to fight camp.
Yeah.
He's been working hard.
Yeah.
Like he would beat my ass.
Definitely,
He would beat our ass any day. Okay, like same with Jake Paul. I mean, because they like are legit trainers.
They're good.
Like
I agree.
yeah, they're definitely good. But I mean, I'm looking at the stats here. Floyd Mayweather has 50 wins, 27 by knockout, 0 losses.
Really, man.
So,
Crazy numbers, man.
That's like almost over half. That is over half of his wins are knockouts.
It's over half
so
by
that's like,
2, man. That's insane.
Yeah. And we're looking at what Logan Paul lost to KSI, right? Like, so I'm not saying. I feel like that was a pretty even fight. If they fought again, I could see Logan Paul winning. It could go either way. Honestly.
Either way, like, definitely. They're both pretty skilled. Back then, they were both, around the same skill level.
But Floyd Mayweather, yeah, he's just insane.
He is,
and he has time under his belt too.
Yes.
Like, you would think like, okay, like Logan Paul is like much younger.
Yeah.
But I mean, these old guys, man. I mean, Floyd Mayweather is 43 years old. Logan Paul, what is he, like 30?
I have no idea. I don't really keep up with the dude that much. But I'm assuming early 30s, maybe late 20s.
So this dude's got.
Go on.
I mean, he has so many years under his belt. Mayweather was like literally raised to be a fighting machine.
Yeah.
I mean, his grandfather is a trainer, and I think his whole family is like a family of boxers. So
I'm telling you, man, he's even got the ancestry behind that, man. Dude's crazy skilled fighter.
Yeah. So then we have, I think, but Conor McGregor versus Jake Paul, I think that would be like a way more brutal fight though, because I hope they don't do MMA, because that would just be a death wish, bro.
Jake Paul would not even, dude, he can't hit the lock.
I don't think, there's no way they're doing MMA if they did do it.
It's,
because like, he would just get choked out. Like,
I don't even know, I don't even think Jake Paul's trained for MMA. I think he's only boxing, in the boxing league.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I do agree with a lot of what you said. I definitely agree that Logan Paul will not beat Floyd. And
I made it sound like I was agreeing, but I kind of wanna.
No.
I like the way I've seen Jake Paul talk recently. Like he seems like a new and improved guy from like the last time he got canceled too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that. But
I'm not sure. All I know is a lot of people don't like him, so.
It's because he made a mistake in Japan. He like called out a
that was Logan
round or something. And yeah, I'm talking about.
I thought you were talking about Jake. My mistake. Alright, go on.
No, I was saying I think like Jake. I was hoping that he might have a chance because like I'm just kind of rooting for him because I've been liking what I'm seeing from him lately.
Logan. Yeah, it's Jake. It's alright, bro.
My bad.
No worries, bro.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah. So, I do like how he has matured throughout the years. Definitely made some mistakes in his past. Some pretty, like bad ones. But I do like how the man has matured recently. He's seeming like he's really, trying to become a good guy genuinely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, well.
Okay, so this is the end of the Hello World podcast.
Hello World.
Episode 1.
Episode 000.
So, Thank you for
Thank you
joining.
so much for